Red Gate in the first episode itself? But wait, what's a Red Gate? Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to talk about the first arc of Solo Leveling Season 2. I will be giving out my reviews and answering some of the questions that you guys might have. I will also be comparing manhwa to the anime or while drawing this anime artwork from the Solo Leveling. If you are new to the channel, my name is Dean Emerick and I talk about anime, manga, gaming and art. So let's start the video. Season 2 picks right where Season 1 left off, after the job change quest, where Jinwoo defeated Igris and changed his class to a necromancer. But what was his class before that? Honestly, he was so weak that I don't think he was even assigned one. However, after defeating D-rank hunter King Teshik in Season 1, I believed he was leaning towards assassin type. Even before that, when he was weaker, he used an assassin-like strategy, waiting for the right moment and striking only when the enemy was vulnerable. The episode starts with some light moments about Jinwoo's sister, but we also met Song Yi, an E-rank hunter struggling to survive. Jinwoo, instead of using words, decide to change her mindset by showing her firsthand the dangers of dungeon. Not the best plan, and you'll see why later in the video. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Huang Dong-so, an S-rank hunter living in America who has returned to Korea to take revenge on Jinwoo and Jinho. But from manhwa, we know that he doesn't really care about his brother. He's only here to off them. And let's be real, when you are one of the few S-rank hunters, you pretty much do whatever you want. We also get to know why the raid team was so shocked in the end of previous season when they were trying to attack Jeju Island. The reason was that these ants are evolving. They have now grown wings and can fly, but only for a short distance. I went and saw the last episode of Season 1 and look at this. By now you might know who these guys are. I might be wrong, but I only saw one team. What was Choi even thinking? Taking 2 S rank and a bunch of A rank to a place which was not cleared by multiple S rank. Why didn't he ask for the help from the other guilds? If you have forgotten, there was an island where there were a lot of monsters. I assume a gate was opened and the hunters were not able to clear the dungeon. So the monster came out and many powerful hunters were sent to clear this dungeon. But it was still not cleared. The only reason I assume normal people were safe was that the island was far away from the mainland and the monsters that were in the shape of ant were not able to cross the ocean. But now it's a different story. Coming back to the current part, Jinwoo took Song Yi to a C-rank dungeon where he tried to show the brutal reality of being a hunter. This is where things doesn't go as planned. The dungeon turned out to be a red gate. So, how is a red gate different from a normal dungeon? There are many things. First, when you enter a red gate, you are transported into a different location. Second, the time also acts different in this dimension. 1 hour outside is equal to a day in the dungeon. Third, the gate is sealed off. Unlike the other dungeons, you can't go in and out. Fourth, the level of the dungeon also increases. And to make things worse, this was supposed to be a mission to train new members. Kim Chol, the leader of this team, was an A-rank tank type hunter. Whatever his rank may be, Kim Chol was not a good leader. Right when he saw the dangers of this dungeon, he decided to abandon the weak member of his team that were D rank and below. In my opinion, you need as many hunters as possible to survive a dungeon. So it was a responsibility of Sun Jinwoo to protect these members. Regardless of being a bad leader, Kim Chol was a strong fighter. He was capable of defending himself to a point. And from the manhwa, we see that he was one of the members of the strike team from the White Tiger Guild. For the weak team, Sun Jinwoo was the one defeating all the monsters. They went straight into the forest where Ice Bear lived. To be honest, it was a good decision. That way, they don't have to look out for an ambush. One thing to notice is that Jinwoo changed his title from the one who overcome adversity back to the wolf assassin. So the title Jinwoo have also have an effect on his stats and can change it anytime. From manhwa, we get to know that Sun Jinwoo was taking advantage of the fact that these ice bears give him a lot of experience. So he went straight to their cave and defeated them. And this is where we first saw his power as a necromancer. The way the animation studio adapted manhwa is just fabulous. They even used CGI to animate Shadow Soldier and fight bears, but it did not look odd. And with the army, we got to see Igris again. He took on the leader of Ice Bear easily. Luckily, he hasn't lost his aura after becoming a Shadow Soldier. I always thought that Igris was stronger in the battle against Jinwoo, and the only reason Jinwoo survived that battle was because of plot armor. And in this episode, Jinwoo confirmed that Igris is still stronger than him. In the second episode, we found out that Kim Chol have lost his whole team against Ice Elves. But in manhwa, it is a bit different. He lost his team against monsters named Yeti after starving for food for days. This is not shown in anime. And then he encounters Hyakki, also known as Ice Elves. So while running from the Ice Elves, he found out that the weak team that he left behind is alive and doing well. Watching this made him crash out and he wanted to finish the weak members. But of course, Jinwoo defended them and knocked him. To be honest, he really is a type of character to blame his mistake on others. Even in the beginning, he wanted to get rid of weak members and not take their responsibility. As a leader, your first priority should be to make sure that everyone is safe and you should be the one to face any kind of danger. But that's just my belief. Tell me in the comment section how a leader should act according to you. Coming back to the story, Kim was not the only person to find weak team. He unknowingly brought Ice Elves with him. With the interaction between Jinwoo and dungeon boss Barca, he found out that somehow Jinwoo was able to understand monsters' language. Even he was shocked at this feat. I am only following the part that is covered in anime, but I believe at this point Jinwoo has become a part of system somehow. Even Barca said he was not human, but pretending to be one. We also get some info on how monsters get instruction from the system. A voice in their head keeps telling them to finish humans. Honestly, that would be really annoying. We also see when Jinwoo asked a question to Barca, Barca glitched and repeated his previous sentence. I think it's like a game where you can't use a weapon because you have not unlocked a certain level. Here, I think system doesn't want Jinwoo to know something specific, because if system wanted to hide everything, why did system give him power to understand monsters' language? So, the fight began between Jinwoo's and Barca's army. The two forces were equally matched, but boss Barca was stronger than Jinwoo and Igris combined. This was a big proof that this dungeon was an S-rank dungeon. One thing that bugged me in anime is that Kim Chol, after regaining consciousness, ran towards Jinwoo to eliminate him without any reason. But in manhwa, it is clearly shown that Kim heard Jinwoo's voice before getting knocked out, and that helped him to reach the conclusion that Jinwoo was the one that knocked him out, and that's why he ran towards Jinwoo. In anime, when he was stabbed by Igris, Kim said he knew I would come, and that actually felt very disconnected. But when he said that in manhwa, the scene made the perfect sense. Even this scene looks very stupid. When we think about it, Kim is an A-rank hunter. Why would he run shouting Shine towards Jinwoo? In manhwa, it was Park Hee-jin that informed Jinwoo about the threat. Just because you want Jinwoo to be a badass, don't make other characters dumb. Igris finished Kim in an instant, showing the power difference between them. Just a personal note, for the longest time this was my wallpaper, and I didn't knew this was the scene until I read it in manhwa. Jinwoo then extracted his shadow and made him a soldier. While this was happening, Barca and Igris were fighting, and Barca took Igris' arm clean off. For some reason, this was not included in anime. Jinwoo's poison dagger also didn't have any effect on Barca. It took one person and multiple shadow to defeat Barca. First, an A-rank tank. Second, a swordsman who is fast enough to be considered as an assassin type and is on par with Jinwoo when it comes to strength. And third, Jinwoo himself, who is an high-level assassin type hunter. After the fight, Jinwoo tried to extract Barca's shadow, but he failed to do that. There is no clear reason mentioned for this, but in my opinion, it is one of the two reasons. First reason being, it might be that Jinwoo is not strong enough to extract Barca's shadow. Second, and the more accurate reason I believe, is that because of Barca's pride. Remember the time when Jinwoo was trying to extract Ygritte's shadow and he failed 2 times? It was because Ygritte was very loyal towards his master and he refused to become a shadow. So this shows even after they die, they still have their personality intact. After they defeated Barca, the gate opened again and it was end of the saga. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. If you get to know something new about it, like and share the video and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video.